Yeah, I think the Football Supporters Association gives a very warm welcome to this report. Government promised a fan-led review. That review process has listened to the voice of fans, heard what they've said, and a lot of the recommendations that we've been pushing for the independent regulation of the game, for a voice of fans to be built into the structures of the game at every level. All of that has been acted on, and we think there's a lot of positive stuff coming out of this. I think the report is to be treated as a holistic whole. It's not an a la carte menu where you can pick little bits out of it, but put all together, I think it addresses the sustainability of the game, the regulation of the game. It addresses issues about solidarity. It addresses issues about fan influence in the game. So as a package, I think it's a very strong group of proposals, and we just urge the government to implement it in full as soon as possible. The proposal is for the owners and directors test to be, first of all, to standardise so that it's the same across all the divisions. There's a proposal also to split it, so there's a different test for owners and for directors who need different attributes and skills. And also it does introduce an ethical test. We haven't invented that from nowhere. We've taken the highest standard of ethical test available in companies in Britain at the moment, which is from the securities and banking industry, and applying that to the football industry as well. Well, I don't know what any of the details of the Newcastle United deal, so I'm not in a position to judge that deal against what the test would be in future. That'd be a matter for the regulator, who would have access to what the terms of the deal would be. But I would also say that you can guarantee there would be more transparency. As a Newcastle fan myself, I went through 4 years of absolute uncertainty about what was happening in the club, and that can't be acceptable. The panel took evidence. It was a completely open call for evidence, so we've had contact from supporters organisations, football authorities, football clubs, campaign groups, human rights groups, you name it, across the board, even internationally, representation from German fan organisations as well. I'm optimistic that this whole package will find its way through Parliament into legislation. It provides a holistic package of remedies for all of the troubles that have affected what's otherwise a very successful sport, and I think I'm very hopeful that the government will see that this sport is so important to communities and to people up and down the country that it needs to guarantee a prosperous and sustainable future. This report unlocks that future. There are measures contained in the report which would give supporter organisations and supporters of clubs the right of consent over issues about the heritage of their clubs, which would be their playing colours, their playing names, their badge, but also, crucially, which competitions they would take part in. Any proposal to take part in a competition that wasn't sanctioned by FIFA, UEFA and the Football Association would require the approval of the fan base. And I think it's quite clear from the reaction of the fan base to the European Super League proposal that wouldn't be getting passed anywhere. The proposed transfer levy is an additional source of solidarity money to go further down the pyramid, in particular for investment into grassroots football. I think it'll be welcomed by football fans up and down the country. All of the proposals in here will be subject to enforcement by the independent regulator, which will be a statutory body. So there will be a requirement on clubs to pay those levies rather than a request.